In a move that could reshape the future of fertility treatments in America, President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday aimed at making in vitro fertilization more accessible and affordable.
A short while ago, President Trump signed three items. The first is an executive order relating to the affordability and availability of in vitro fertilization and other fertility treatments. These are treatments that have become unaffordable for many Americans, or have been unaffordable for many Americans. And the executive order is a directive to the Domestic Policy Council to examine ways to make IVF and other fertility treatments more affordable for more Americans.
But how will this affect millions of Americans? And more importantly, who will pay for it? Trump's order directs his domestic policy chief to come up with policy recommendations in the next 90 days to expand access to IVF and cut down on its high costs. However, the order doesn't specify how these costs will actually be covered.
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning.
In 2024, IVF became a major issue in the presidential race. Trump, while campaigning, promised universal coverage for IVF. This follows a wave of restrictions in states like Alabama, where conservative courts are pushing to define life at conception, putting IVF access at risk. Currently, most states in the United States don't require insurers to cover IVF, which can cost anywhere from $12,000 to $25,000 per cycle. For many, even with insurance, the expenses for drugs and medical procedures add up fast. The White House pointed out that more than 85,000 babies were born through IVF in 2021 alone. But the cost is a huge barrier for many families. Even with insurance, the out-of-pocket expenses can be overwhelming. As of 2023, U.S. fertility rates dropped by 3% following a 2% annual decline from 2014 to 2020. The natural birth rate is below the replacement rate of 2.1 births per woman, which is needed to sustain the population without immigration. The executive order also directs the government to examine policies that make IVF more expensive and explore changes that could lower costs for individuals. But here's the catch: there's no clear answer yet on how to fund this initiative or whether insurance companies will play a role. And the debate over IVF isn't just about costs. The Alabama Supreme Court's decision to define embryos as children has sparked concerns about the future of embryo storage and transportation. Patients in some states are even considering moving their frozen embryos out of state to avoid legal uncertainty. In 2023, Senate Republicans blocked 2 attempts by Democrats to protect IVF access. They argued that the issue wasn't at risk despite rising restrictions in several states. The question remains, will Trump's executive order bring real relief to couples struggling with infertility, or will the lack of a clear plan on funding leave many in limbo? For more details on Donald Trump's executive orders, stay tuned to the official YouTube channel of the Indian Express.